Well, talking with the Chief Minister, and while we're on the subject of regeneration in general, I mean, I'm going to, while we're doing this interview, run some shots which I took this morning downtown. Should we do the Villiers site first of all?
Yes.
Which is going to be this great place, wasn't it? I mean, the bands played, the bunting was out. When it opened, it was going to be the big sort of town centre meeting place.
Yes.
Disaster.
A total disaster. I can't imagine there being a more shabby, tatty, embarrassing town centre anywhere in Europe, frankly, than this obscenity that we developed in the centre of Douglas. Douglas is the capital of what has been one of the fastest and most successful growing economies in Europe over the last 20 years. And we have this embarrassment to deal with, not just the town square, but the whole of the Villiers site, right in the centre of town. And as I've said on many occasions, it's the shabby state of Douglas which has cost the island a huge amount of investment over the years and many jobs.
And how does that work out? People come off the boat, and you pick them up, and they have a look around, and they decide this is not for them.
It's not always the individual themselves. It goes back to the old chairman's wife syndrome, and the appearance of the shopping centre, poor quality facilities. Undeveloped, shabby, neglected areas such as the Villiers site, such as Lord Street and that general central area. And the combination of them all leaves a very, very poor impression, and certainly completely contradicts the reality of the position of the Isle of Man, which is a very successful economy.
Let's run some shots around the bus station. I mean, this could be a film set, World War II Blitz, some of the bits there. And we've also got some previous ideas of what was going to happen to that site, way back in the 50s when the bus station was being talked about then, and then what was there in the 60s, 70s and so on. What's your view on this? What should the Isle of Man capital have for buses?
Well, I think, yes, we've got to accommodate buses, but the idea of turning the whole of Lord Street back into a bus station again, and with some quite bizarre ideas I've heard this week about building arenas for dog shows, I find quite bizarre, and bearing in mind that this is probably the prime site on the Isle of Man for development, the most valuable land in Douglas, we've got to be sure that what we do put on there makes a positive contribution. Now, whether the most recent plan has been a new hotel and residential and shops, now clearly that wasn't a viable option. But we need to have a mixture of that and other entertainment and social activities down there to really bring that central area back into life again. Some of the plans that have been suggested for other areas around there are very interesting and will certainly make a positive contribution.
Would you be prepared to put another 999-year lease out there, or was that just pushing it too far?
I think government will look at anything, quite honestly. We need to get development going. We've got to improve the position of Douglas by stimulating the regeneration in a larger area in the centre of town. Not only will it improve the appearance of Douglas, it will make it more attractive for new inward investment, but it will in itself provide substantial work for the construction industry at a time when it badly needs all the work it can get.
And just Strand Street, which is going to get regenerated, but at the minute, now there's tarmac and things put down there, there's bollards. I mean, these shots I'm showing you now, this is looking very odd.
Certainly, if you see Strand Street as it looks today, you would probably jump on the next boat and go back to Liverpool again. But I think that's all down to the fact that the regeneration work is about to start in the next few weeks, and there's not much point in putting expensive finishes back on that area when in a few weeks' time it's all going to be dug up. So I can understand why it's been done at the moment, but it really, I think, has hit an all-time low at the moment, and we've got to do some work urgently, I think, to improve the appearance of the centre of town.